Welcome back to Theme Park Worldwide, where it's time for another exciting news update. In this video, I'm going to be sharing all of the details about a brand new roller coaster coming to Fårup Sommerland in Denmark for 2022. The new ride is set to be called Fønix, and I'm looking forward to this opening next year because it looks absolutely incredible. In this video, I'm going to go into all of the details about Fønix. We'll go through the stats for this ride. We'll take a look at some of the concepts and rendering, along with a POV of what the ride is expected to be like too. Now with this, it's actually set to be a record breaker for Denmark. It's going to be the largest and fastest roller coaster in Denmark, manufactured by one of my all-time favourite manufacturers, Vekoma. Over the past 5 years or so, Vekoma have come a very long way with ride installations. Their roller coasters have improved so much over the past 5 years, and you know what? I can't wait for this ride. As soon as this was announced a couple of days ago, couldn't wait to film this video and of course share my thoughts with you, because I really feel like from looking at it, this is going to be a special ride, and it's going to combine inversions with airtime and near misses. And you know what? I think it's just going to be one of the best roller coasters to open next year, and possibly even one of the best roller coasters operating in Europe. I'm calling it early. I think this is going to be one of the best rides in Europe. I really do. But before we get too excited, let's have a look here at the concept rendering, and I'll go through some of the stats for you about Fønix. So yes, this ride is set to be 40 meters tall. That's 131 feet, and it's going to be a top speed of 59 miles per hour on this ride. That's 95 kilometers per hour. Now, the ride is set to feature 3 inversions, and one of these inversions is set to be something completely different that's never been done before, and I'll move on to that in just a moment. Now, like I said, this ride is not just going to be about inversions, it's also going to feature a hell of a lot of airtime. There's going to be 14 different airtime moments throughout the layout on this brand new Vekoma coaster. And you know what, with how smooth these new Vekomas are as well, I feel like this is going to be amazing with the pacing throughout the ride. And as you'll see in just a moment from the POV, the pacing on this looks incredible, and the transitions and turns between the inversions and the airtime hills, honestly, I think we're in for a pretty incredible experience when this opens at Fårup Sommerland next year. But yes, let's talk about this this special inversion that's never been done before. It's known as the world's first stall loop. We've had loops, we've had stalls. Normally it's RMC, Rocky Mountain Construction of course, that are pushing the boundary with these different inversions. But now we're seeing the likes of Vekoma and Intamin and even Mack Rides try these different things now. And I do feel like that's all stemmed from what RMC did when they built their first rides. And you know, they're a pretty relatively new manufacturer compared to some of the oldest, I would say, you know, like Mack Rides and even B&M, Intamin now, and of course Vekoma. So the fact that, you know, a lot of these other manufacturers have seen what RMC were doing and still are doing, making them push the boundaries even more now. And I think that's why we're seeing things like this on Fønix, you know, the world's first stall loop. Now, you might be thinking, hang on a minute, how is it going to work? You've seen it in the concept render in there, but let me explain it in a bit more detail for you. So with this, it's kind of going to go up into a half loop, then part of like an inverted camelback before a second half loop and a twist. So that's the best way to kind of explain it, breaking it down there into the different parts that form this one element of the ride. So like I say, that's a world's first element that's coming to this, and that's coming pretty early in the layout too. It goes down that pretty steep first drop and then straight up into that stall loop. I love the look of this, and from riding lots of new generation Vekoma coasters, then I just feel like this is going to have amazing pacing. It's going to be really smooth and pretty intense too. And you've got to think about some of the forces that we might experience. Lots of positive and also zero G forces that we're going to get on this part especially. So just them quick transitions as part of the stall loop, I think are going to be awesome, and I can't wait to get there and experience this next year. Now, of course, there's so much more to the ride than just the 14 airtime hills. I say just, but you know, that is a lot, and 3 inversions. Of course, you got that stunning first drop. You got one of the inversions that's going to interact with the station building, very similar to one of my favourite Vekoma coasters. I've actually got the t-shirt on for it today. You can't see it, it's just off shot, but yeah, it's Let Coaster at Legendia in Poland. That's an epic epic new generation Vekoma, and that's got a very similar element to this, of course, where it goes straight through the station with an inversion. Love that. One of my favorite parts on Let Coaster, so it's nice to see that with Fønix they're bringing that into this as well. Now with this ride, just the overall pacing of it and the fact that, you know, it builds up so much speed, it comes into the brake run with quite some speed at the end of the ride. Now I know it's only a concept rendering of what it's going to be like or should be like, but normally now these are pretty accurate, so the fact that the pacing on this looks incredible is something that makes me really excited. So yeah, you know, we're looking at this huge ride coming to Denmark. Never been to Fårup Sommerland. I would love to go, and next year is the perfect opportunity to get out there and experience this new ride. Now let's go more into the construction of this. How much is it going to cost? We're looking at 100 million, blimey, Danish kroner, not pounds or euros. That's in Danish kroner, so that's about 11.5 million pounds. Blimey, I wish some parks here in the UK would snap up one of these. It would be a bargain. It really would, for a park in this country to get something of that style and that standard for, you know, 11.5 million pounds. Like, honestly, it'd be great, wouldn't it? But yeah, of course, like with Danish kroner, it sounds so much, doesn't it? Like 100 million Danish kroner. It's like, blimey, that's a crazy amount. But yeah, it's about 11.5 million pounds. This is planned to open, if all goes to plan, in April 2022. So it'll be a nice early season trip, hopefully next year. Fingers crossed if the travel restrictions are better by then. They're certainly not great at the moment, especially, you know, when you want to get to some parks and ride new rides in Belgium and in Germany. Yeah, it's not the best, but let's just hope things get better soon, shall we? But hopefully by next year, this is going to be, you know, open and we can all go there and experience it, because I'd love to get there for the opening day of this. Like I say, the pacing looks amazing. The speed that it's going into some of the inversions, especially that second inversion, looks phenomenal. It really does. And the airtime hills on this, you got some small airtime hills and you got a couple that after each other that all come together to create a brilliant layout. For me, I'd always take airtime over inversions, but don't get me wrong, I love inversions too. So when a ride's built like this, it gets me really excited, the fact that it combines my two loves, my two passions about a ride into one, and to create an overall fantastic experience. Now, in terms of the trains on this, Vekoma again have really improved their train design a lot over the past few years. Look at the Bermuda Blitz models. You know, they've done some great stuff. The Shockwave models, the trains look great for that. So yeah, you know, this is going to feature them similar trains with the vest restraints, 16 riders per train. It'll run 2 trains, 900 riders an hour with the throughput, which is pretty good, isn't it? For a park of this size, a ride that does 900 an hour is going to be a great one to eat up the queues there. This is actually the park's 8th roller coaster. They've currently got 7 that operate there, and this is the biggest ride so far. Their biggest ride really up to now is like a Gerstyle launch coaster that they've got. So this is you know, a big kind of step up for them, going with Vekoma, going with one of the new generation rides, and I think it looks like it's going to be incredible. Of course, Fønix, it's going to be based on, you know, flying through the forest really with the theme of this. We don't know the exact details about theming yet around the ride. However, I'm really hoping that we see some nice heavy theming. I think now a lot of parks, especially in Europe, are really looking at what parks like Phantasialand and Toverland have done with rides and putting in heavy theming. So it's nice to see that, you know, more parks are doing that. I think that's probably going to be the same here with Fønix. This new generation ride, you know, the fact that, you know, we've got this stall loop coming into this makes me really excited. It's their biggest ride so far. We know it's the largest and fastest roller coaster in Denmark, and I need to get back to Denmark. I've only ever been once, and that was 2015. Didn't make it to many of the parks, just did Tivoli and Bakken, you know, in Copenhagen. So to go back to those and do these others will be amazing. So yeah, next year, Denmark 100%. Maybe even later this year, I'd like to get back to some of the others. But then I think, well, do I hold off, do it all in one big go? And of course, get out there to experience Fønix and Fårup Sommerland. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts on this big new roller coaster. Couldn't wait to film this video. Really excited to just share my thoughts and passion for this ride. I know when I see like a rendering, I can watch it and think, blimey, that looks good. Or I can watch it and think, holy moly, that is going to be one of the best coasters in Europe. And they're the vibes that I'm getting with this. I had these vibes with, you know, quite a few different rides. Tiger at Linnanmäki in Finland, Shambhala at Portaventura, Taran at Phantasialand, Helix at Liseberg. I had these kind of vibes with those rides. And, you know, just seeing this gets me really excited, and I can't wait to ride it next year. So, like I say, let me know your thoughts down below in the video comments. Do you live live in Denmark? Are you excited to follow the construction? Or you may be planning to go next year? I would love to know your thoughts down below in the video comments. I filmed the news update yesterday about some changes coming to Efteling, including a couple of new attractions for winter. They're retheming a ride that I'm really pleased about. So check out that video if you've not already seen it from yesterday. And there'll also be another news update coming tomorrow here on the channel, talking all about some changes at Park Asterix. Tonnerre de Zeus, one of my favourite wooden coasters, is having some changes. So you're going to have to tune into tomorrow's video to hear my thoughts all about that. And I'll also be talking about their 2023 coaster that's opening at Park Asterix too. I'm Sean Sandbrook, thanks for watching Theme Park Worldwide, and that leaves me with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. See you soon.